Hello Cougar fans, and welcome to an exclusive video on the Cougar Sports Network. I'm Carter Gledhill, and I welcome you to this broadcast from my room during these times of quarantine and social distancing. As part of National D3 Week, we continue to celebrate all things CUC athletics. Now more than ever, we see how powerful and valuable sports are in our lives. There are few things that have such an impact on people that allow us to unite together into one fan group to cheer on a team. Fans come from all different backgrounds, places, and walks of life. They set aside their differences and embrace their similarities, which is an example of how good things bring people together in tough times. While there are many seasons that were cut short, celebrations in locker rooms lost, and memories with teammates to never happen, this video is a compilation of the greatest moments from this year's athletics. It's a celebration of the athletes, coaches, parents, and fans whose love and efforts make D3, CUC, and sports that important. To kick things off, we go all the way back to August on the gridiron with the football team. The Cougars finished a roller coaster of a season 5-5 under first-year head coach Jason Aubrey. Their offense was led by senior running back Lance Moise, who earned the nickname The Beast, with the spectacular season he had. Moise rushed for over 1,200 yards, 19 total touchdowns, which earned him third-team All-Region honors. Moise etched his name in the record books on October 12th as he became CUC's all-time leading rusher and first in school history with over 4,000 career yards. Their biggest win of the year came on October 19th when they traveled to Eureka College to take on the Red Devils, who were a top 3 team in the conference at the time. Down 34-14 in the end of the third quarter, the Cougars got their offense rolling with a trick play near the goal line running the Cougar Special. With a last-second touchdown from Moise and an extra point from Andrew Lechuga, the Cougars completed the tremendous comeback, scoring 21 unanswered points and shocking Eureka, winning 35-34. Sticking with the theme of running, the men's cross-country team laced up for what was another exciting fall for the team.
On a muddy afternoon at the conference meet in West Allis, Wisconsin, the team finished 8th overall. Senior Thomas McNamara and freshman Ernest Bogart qualified for the Midwest 3 regionals. Bogart was the second across the finish line for CUC with a time of 27:57.62, placing 22nd overall. McNamara battled to the end and finished second overall with a time of 27:35.62. The finish meant McNamara's third consecutive All-Conference award. He was also named NAC Student Athlete of the Week 3 times this season. McNamara's finish at the regional meet was truly memorable for one of the best cross-country runners in CUC history. He placed 39th out of 252 runners and broke a record while he was at it. His finishing time at 25:44.1 was the third fastest 8K time in CUC history. This wouldn't be the last time you'd hear McNamara's name though, as this was just a tune-up for track season.
The women's cross-country team had a truly exciting season with several team and individual accomplishments. Their third-place finish at the conference meet was the highest finish for the team at the NAC Championship. 2 runners earned all-conference honors as well. Molly Colnane finished second, and Alyssa Taglia finished 14th. Colnane was also named NAC Student Athlete of the Week 3 times this season. In addition to their fantastic finish at the conference meet, the team was named a 2019 NCAA D3 All-Academic Team. Congratulations on a great season on the course and in the classroom. Going from trails to turf, the women's soccer team finished with an overall record of 6-11-2 and a conference record of 500 for the second consecutive year under Coach Shaney Paul. They placed 7th in conference this season, and all their wins came in shutout fashion. During the first part of October, the Cougars went 4-1, scoring 20 goals and only allowing 1 goal over that stretch. In their rout versus Alverno, Esme Torres scored 4 goals, which was the most goals scored in a single game by a player since 2014. Postseason accolades were given to junior defender Brianna Welch, who was a conference honorable mention. With nearly 20 new faces added to the 2019 roster, the CUC men's soccer team embraced the underdog mentality and made their presence known throughout the conference. The Cougars finished with an overall record of 9-9 and didn't stop with just tripling their win total from the 2018 season. On October 26th, the Cougars battled the Edgewood Eagles in hopes of securing a playoff berth. Already up 2-0, Ryan Coleman found the back of the goal for the second time that game, securing the victory over the Eagles with a final score of 3-0. The victory meant the Cougars clinched their first NAC playoff berth in program history. Another key player that contributed to the historic run for CUC was veteran goalkeeper Jose Ratana, who was later named second-team All-NAC. In another year of competition, the women's tennis team displayed grit and hard work as they finished with a record of 3-6. The team was led this year by dynamic duo Hannah Gallup and Taylor Jensen, who combined for a 3-6 record as double partners. The highlight of the season came when CUC traveled down Division Street to take on the rival Dominican Stars. The Cougars made sure that the Stars weren't shining bright that night as they dominated Dominican 8-1. This was also huge for CUC as the win gave the Cougars points in the River Forest Rivalry Cup. Better luck next year, Stars. Closing out the fall sports is our women's volleyball team. They finished 14-18 with a conference record of 5-7. At the Knox College tournament in September, the Cougars asserted their dominance going 3-1. On day 2 of the tournament, the Cougars were on fire and they went 6-0 in combined sets in their matches versus Iowa Wesleyan and St. Mary of the Woods. The Cougars combined for 72 kills and 65 assists that day. On senior night versus Marion, Jalen Johnson went out with a bang, tallying a team-high 11 kills in their 3-set sweep of the Saviors. Shannon Stamp earned second-team All-NAC honors for being a force to be reckoned with in the middle. Stamp led the team with 102 blocks on the season and finished third in the conference in blocks per set, averaging .94 a set. The 2019-2020 season was an exciting year for both the men's and women's basketball teams. The men's team saw a tremendous amount of senior leadership and youth contribution that promises for a bright future for the team under first-year head coach Steve Kohler. The dynamic offense led by first-team All-NAC guard Rashawn Amos proved to be too hot to handle, with several shooting threats on the perimeter for CUC. With Geisman Gymnasium packed and visiting Wisconsin Lutheran College in town, the Cougars displayed their resilience and grit they showed all year long. Trailing for a majority of the game, the Cougars pushed tempo and came within one possession nearing the end of regulation. Amos hit the buzzer-beater 3 to tie the game at 100 and cap off an 18-10 run by CUC to close out regulation. Landon Gladney's 21 points and Zio Golding's 15 points helped the Cougars complete the comeback in overtime and beat the Warriors 116-113 in Kohler's home debut. A young women's basketball team proved the point that defense wins games. The up-tempo defense was one of the best in the conference, forcing 23.5 turnovers a game and grabbing 36 rebounds a game. The highlight of the season came in their final game versus Aurora. With 5:31 left in the game, CUC started their comeback and went on a 9-0 run to tie the game at 63. During that stretch, the freshman guard Tara Hastings displayed her sharp shooting ability, netting 3 consecutive three-pointers. The Cougars were able to hold off the Spartans after a big-time free throw from Madeline McGrath to put the game out of reach. The final score of that game was 71-68. Hastings had a team-high 24 points and was assisted by Charisma Robinson, who had another all-around game, recording 13 points, 60 rebounds, and 3 steals. Hastings' speed and shooting ability earned her a conference honorable mention as well. The cheer and dance teams both displayed their school spirit throughout an eventful season full of success and growth. Their performance at the 69th Annual Concordia Invitational Tournament was wild and hyped up the home crowd. The Dazzlers finished third at the NAC Championship, second at Myrtle Beach competition, and won the hip-hop division at the Illinois Collegiate Dance Invite. Every one of their performances was truly exciting and something to look forward to at any CUC athletic event. The highly decorated men's and women's track and field teams displayed their dominance as a whole during the indoor season. At the NAC Championship, the men's team finished 5th and the women's team finished 2nd.
On the men's side, Thomas McNamara continued his dominance after winning the conference title in the 5,000 meter event. He ran a 15:10:48 time at the D3 final qualifier. This time was a new school record in the event and broke the previous record that McNamara set 3 weeks prior by 4 seconds.
The women's team had 2 athletes qualify for the D3 Indoor Nationals. Kayla Armstrong qualified in the 200 and 400 meter events and was a top 20 runner for most of the season. Last season, she was CUC's first ever indoor All-American in the 400 meter run. Simone Wilson qualified for the 400 meter dash. Her time at 58:24 ranked 17th in the nation. In 2018, she earned outdoor All-American honors in the 400 meter hurdles. The 2 runners also received All-American honors in the 2018 4x400 relay event. The 2 have combined for 6 All-American honors and 3 national championship appearances. Nicknamed the Cardiac Cougs, the baseball team never disappoints in entertaining and bringing the energy to the diamond. After their record-breaking 2019 campaign, finishing 42-10 and winning a regional title, the 2020 team saw several newcomers make immediate impacts under first-year skipper Colin Connor. The Cougars finished 5-5 in the shortened spring and gave fans a glimpse of what's in store for years to come. Backed by a veteran bullpen and clutch hitting, The Cougars were able to win both games in their doubleheader versus ranked number 15 Webster University in Florida. In their final game versus Clarkson University, there were several times where tears were shed as the team honored all 6 of their seniors. In the top of the fourth, Matt Fouth stepped up to the plate in his final at-bat of his career and launched a solo shot over the left field scoreboard, getting the Cougars offense going. The video of that at-bat was featured on ESPN's Scott Van Pelt's senior night and was the highlight of the season finale as the Cougars beat the Golden Knights 7-6. Taking the diamond for another spring was the Cougar softball team that never lacks in energy and always brings the good vibes on game day. The team finished 3-7 on the season and played several tough opponents in their spring break trip to Florida. The Cougars, however, got the last say in how they wanted their season to end, the right way and with a whole lot of magic. Prior to their final game versus Alfred University, both teams honored CUC seniors Taylor Kolosowicz and Kristen Landon. In a tie game in the bottom of the 7th, the Cougars had runners on first and second. Freshman Becky Peroni stepped into the box in the biggest at-bat of the season. With a full count and 2 outs, Peroni sent a missile into orbit for a 3-run home run. The Cougars walked it off in style and celebrated accordingly. The final score of the game was 3-1 and truly a memorable way to end the season. Spectacular goals, big hits, and fast-paced play were highlights from the men's lacrosse season. The squad led by third-year head coach Brian Welch battled tough competition in their season. Freshman Gabriel Vulcan led the team with 6 goals, while Jack Liskey stood tall in the net as goalie. During their game versus Trine University, Vulcan scored 4 goals against the Thunder. This is also the most goals scored on the Thunder by a single player all season. With high hopes and several returning starters, the Cougars look to rebound and come back next season in a big way. In only his second season at the helm of the women's lacrosse team, head coach Russell Allen coached his team to the best start in program history. The Cougars ended the season 5-0, which makes them the only undefeated team in CUC athletics this year. They also stand atop the MWLC conference standings with a 2-0 conference record. The team combined for a whopping 87 goals and only allowing 14. The offense was led by sophomore Emily Cyrus, who netted team-high 19 goals and 46 draw controls. The X factor for the Cougars' success this year was freshman goalie Ryan McGee. McGee was a 2-time MWLC Defensive Player of the Week. She had 17 saves on the year and averaged only 2.8 goals per game. Cougar fans, be sure to keep an eye out on this team next year as there's a bright future ahead for this program. After their inaugural season in 2019, the men's volleyball team has shown tremendous growth and demolished expectations of another learning curve year. Coach Ryan Staley and his men crushed the competition, going 14-3 and ending the season riding a 7-game win streak. CUC had the best overall record in the NAC as well.
Full of power and commanding the net, the 6'6" outside hitter Luke Vocenelic had a fantastic freshman season. He was recently named ABCA West Region Newcomer of the Year. This would be the first ABCA postseason recognition in program's history. Vocenelic finished 6th in the nation with 10.43 attacks a set and totaled 271 kills this year. Another example of young talent bringing success to CUC. Mark your calendars for the start of men's volleyball season next year.
Well, that's going to do it for us in the end of this video. It was a true pleasure bringing the content of all 17 of our athletic teams to you. It's the least we could do, especially for the athletes and the seniors who lost the season because of this crazy pandemic we're living in. Just remember, folks, that even though these may be tough times, it's tough people that come out of them. I firmly believe that CUC is in a great place, and there is no doubt in my mind that when we're all back together on the playing field, in the classroom, or on campus, that CUC will be thriving once again. I'm Carter Gledhill signing off. Go Cougars.